So is Aaron Rodgers done? Is Tom Brady done? And why am I dressed up in this stuff? Well, I can give you the answer to that last question, but the other two we're going to try to work on. It is week 9 coming up. Believe it or not, we are almost halfway through this NFL season. Time flies when you're having fun. We're turning the calendar on another week, and it's another episode of Fantasy Football Fever starting right about now. And a pleasant good evening to everyone. My name is Tim McClellan, and this is Fantasy Football Fever for Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Happy November, everyone. Hope everyone had a great Halloween, great Halloween weekend. And the weather is getting a little bit colder. November means we're starting to get some really good football coming in. And of course, joining me to cover all of this is, of course, my good friends. First, the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn. How are you, sir?
Hi, what's going on?
Not a whole lot here. And of course, below me right here is our league commissioner, Mr. John Natale. How are you, sir?
Yep, feeling good, living the dream.
Yeah, I went ahead. Well, as part of my costume, I had to go clean shaven because I thought it'd look weird if I had a full beard and mustache in my costume. Maybe after the show, I'll share my pic with you guys and y'all check it out. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We have our fantasy matchups. We have a lot of trades this past week with the trade deadline approaching. If I'm not mistaken, Flynn, it's this Tuesday, the trade deadline.
Passed.
Oh, it was last Tuesday. Oh,
Yep.
so I went through the trade line down, but there's a
Yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah, you were saying.
I was saying that the deadline passed this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, so it was 6 hours
That's
ago.
what I thought.
Oh, okay. So it was today. Today was the deadline, and there were a lot of trades going down, but we'll get to those in just a moment. But right now, let's go into our recap for our fantasy league from last week, week 8. And well, although my victory lap was kind of a small one over John Flynn, because this past week we had the lovely Irene Namer giving me another defeat. She beat me by a score of 169.16 to 160.08, which means that she gets
needed that win in the worst way possible.
Oh yes, she did. That'll move her up to 2-6, 5th place in her division, while I dropped to 3-5, 4th place in the Yabba Dabba Doo division. She needed that, especially from Christian McCaffrey, run CMC. Hey, welcome to the 49ers. He put up 42.26 fantasy points. And I had Derrick Henry, who only put up 35.8 fantasy points, but I kind of Jalen Waddle has been kind of an X factor for me, I guess. So Irene had to give me a defeat there, but that's all right. We had Nick defeating Andrew by a score of 154.48 to 136.66.
Tua came up big for Dennison again.
Yep, another good outing for Tua Tagovailoa. 35.18 fantasy points scored for our good friend Mr. Dennison.
Look at Nick Folk, the kicker. He had 5 field goals against the Jets on Sunday.
Woo. Five field goals. Wow. Unbelievable. And he got a good 18.8 points from one of my favorite wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, of course. So that puts Nick. He is even right now, 4-4, third place in the What's Up Doc division, while Andrew is still in the cellar in the Yabba Dabba Doo division with a record of 1-7. Meanwhile, on a more positive note, Mr. Flynn got another win here over against Dino, 149.22 to 106.42.
I just love how Dinah was talking smack on my fantasy team, and I whipped him by 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
Behind 33.7 points by Mr. Tony Pollard of the Cowboys, who I think they should consider starting instead of Zeke Elliott. And
Told you preseason he was a sleeper. Told you.
Yeah, especially the season he had last year was pretty good too. Lamar Jackson got you 25.82 points, and Mr. Stephon Diggs with 22.8 points, leading those three guys leading your fantasy team to a victory.
Yeah.
We also had yes,
and also I would not have started Tony Pollard if Austin Eckler and the Chargers were off. So that's why he was my starter last weekend.
Right. And we have Casey taking down Adam. Oh, this is the blowout of the week. 166.98 to 75.34.
Yeah.
Behind 42.8 points from Alvin Kamara.
31.8 from Deontay Foreman.
And a good 25.4 from Mr. Nick Chubb. Leonard Fournette only was able to garner 14.8 fantasy points. T. Higgins with 13.9, and this guy Mosley 13 even. Oh, he's got to make some adjustments here.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Mr. Natali beat Mr. Putnam 197.94 to 138.44.
The tally had everything going on. DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, AJ Brown, and John Natali is going to be a team I'm not looking forward to facing in the playoffs.
My only mishap, can't complain. Kyle Pitts had more points than Ertz, but
that would have given you over 200.
Definitely take this.
That would have given you over
it's time
200.
for another name change. Yeah.
Here we go.
Another name change.
Watch for another name change, y'all.
And it's in.
So the name change is in now. Well,
we'll find out.
See. Let's go. Let's go to our playoff bracket and see what would happen if our playoffs were to start this week. Let's see here. I hate how this thing moves so slow. Well, right now, if the playoffs were to begin, Mr. Flynn would have the number 1 seed. Dino would have number 2. 3 seed would be KC. 4 seed would go to Natali. Number 5 would be Alex Putnam. Number 6 would be Nick. I would have the 7th seed, and Adam would have the 8th seed, which means that if the playoffs were to begin, it would pretty much be Andrew at number 10 and Irene at the number 9 seed going into the consolation ladder here.
Yeah.
But let's just go ahead and preview the matchups for week 9. I've got Andrew. And right now, Andrew has an edge over me for the projected total. I've got 133.2. No, he's got 133.2. I have 104.5. So I have to. I'll definitely make a few changes if I'm able to.
Lots of teams on a bye this week.
Oh yes, there's 6 of those teams. We'll get to those in just a moment. But right now, looking here, Dino has a matchup with Nick, and right now Dino is sitting at 130.7 projection against 111.5 for Nick. Irene has a matchup with Alex Putnam, and right now Alex is 101.8. Irene has 81.3. So she's got to make some. She's got to make some real good picks too. Oh, I hear somebody knocking.
Ooh, let's
Oh,
see who it is.
that was Flynn that just stepped out, but
Yep.
I guess he came back. He came back in here again.
Yeah.
There he
Yes.
is.
Switch
I see.
location.
Yeah. So I see you're now talking about the matchups for next week.
Yep. Talk about this week's matchups.
Yeah, and some of us have to make changes because 6 teams are on bye, which is I think the most for a week this season. So there's going to be some interesting names on our radars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a name change. It was below our average squad. Now he is an average squad where he's set at 4-4, second place in the division. And he has a matchup with Casey this week. And right now the tally is 133.8. Casey has 73.9. And rounding out this coming week's matchups, Mr. Natali has Adam Oliver. And right now, Adam has a 132.6 advantage over 118.6 for Mr. Flynn. So, yeah, it's getting pretty good. Starting the second half, I guess, of our fantasy season started last week, I think. So yeah, it's going to get interesting from here on out. So why don't we just go ahead and we'll go ahead and stop the screen share right there. But we do have a lot of things to talk about before we actually get to our schedules here. Do we have any comments here? No. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's see if I can get this one up here. Yeah, there was a lot of trades. Like I said, the trade deadline was earlier today, and in the last week or so, there was a lot of teams who made some trades here. Let's go ahead and put that screen up there. If we got it, yeah, if we got it up there, there we go. There we go. There's our list right here, and we'll start with probably the most interesting, most notable trade. Carolina Panthers sending their star running back Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers. And we got Bradley Chubb from the Broncos to the Dolphins. Calvin Ridley, who's currently under suspension from the Falcons, traded to the Jags. Roquan Smith from the Bears to the Ravens. TJ Hawkinson, another interesting name from the Lions, now going to a division rival, the Vikings. Oh, man. When you talk about trades to division rivals, that's kind of getting personal, you know what I mean? And there's an interesting one. Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool has been traded to the Bears. Giants wide receiver Kadarius Toney gone from the Giants to the Chiefs. Robert Quinn, former Cowboy, traded from the Bears to the Eagles. Nyam Hines from the Colts to the Bills. Jeff Will. I mean, look at all the rest of the names here. Chase Edmonds from the Dolphins to the Broncos. Interesting one here. Jonathan Hankins from the Raiders to the Cowboys. Robbie Anderson from the Panthers to the Cardinals. Flynn, let me ask you. I guess the one that really sticks out, I guess, would be Christian McCaffrey. Anyone else that kind of catches your eye?
I mean, I think the one that really stood out to me really from today was T.J. Hawkinson going over for the Lions to the Vikings. So now it makes Minnesota's offense that much more lethal. And they made this trade because their regular tight end Irv Smith is out with an injury. He's going to be out for a couple of months. So they need a tight end, and they figured and do a swap of draft picks with T.J. Hawkins, with the Lions to get him. And this is the type of trade which screams rebuilding since 1957 for the Lions. I just did not get why the Lions traded Hawkinson, but it's elsewhere. Bradley Chubb going from the Broncos to the Dolphins, also getting Jeff Wilson. That the Dolphins are pushing the chips into the table. They're going for it, and they could, the Dolphins could legitimately be the third best team in the AFC. You can argue Baltimore with them getting Roquan Smith, and that was a great trade by Eric DaCosta, and I said in real time, the league's leading tackle, and now with the Ravens getting guys back from injuries, so the Ravens could suddenly have one of the most lethal linebacker units in the NFL, and that's a big problem. So you got to think about Miami and Baltimore as potentially number 3 behind Buffalo or Kansas City. I mean, I had Baltimore number 3 in the AFC preseason. Let's see. Obviously James Robinson, but that was kind of a thumper against New England on Sunday. And then how about Calvin Ridley? I mean, so Calvin Ridley was suspended for betting the Falcons not to cover against the Jaguars in the Falcons-Jaguars game last year. Well, now he's now in the Jaguars. And also the last one, Dean Marlowe, the safety, he was traded from the Falcons to the Bills. Dean Marlowe and I went to the same high school, and now Dean Marlowe could be a backup safety on a Super Bowl champion.
Someone wanted to send a message here.
Alex.
Yes, Mr. Alex Putnam, A Pizzle 90. Alex, what's up, bro?
He's excited about his Miami Dolphins, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he is right now. And of course, while he sends his regards, I will send my regards to him and letting y'all know about his show, The Four Horsemen of Pick'ems, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on his YouTube channel, which is simply youtube.com/apizzle90. That's APIZZLE 90. Be sure to check it out. Oh, and we do have a fantasy question here. We have this one from one of our viewers over on Twitch. Do you guys think Dallas should have traded Zeke to get defensive help specifically for their matchup with the Eagles in order to win the division? Pollard is doing great. Well, I do agree Pollard is doing great, but the question is, you think Dallas should trade Zeke to get defensive help specifically?
Yes,
I would say so too. Yeah, you can never have too much defense. It's always good to have depth.
Yeah. I mean, and last year Tony Pollard averaged 5 yards a carry, and now he's averaging more than 6 yards a carry, and he had he is a home run hitting running back, and Zeke has trended downward the last couple of years. So of course I think the Cowboys should have traded Zeke, but I mean, you got to talk to Jerry and Stephen Jones about that thing, salary cap.
Yeah, salary cap thing. I don't know, but like I think I said somewhere before the season started or sometime during the season that ever since his rookie season in 2016, Zeke's numbers, his average yards per game for each year has been going down and down and down and down and down and it's just I mean, yeah, he's good, all right, but I like Pollard because he is like a power.
Yeah, he's not the pass catching running back he once was.
Yeah, yeah, but I think I'm starting to lean toward Pollard. I think they really should start Pollard instead of Elliott.
Yeah,
but
he's better at pass catching too.
But hey, right. definitely got to improve on that. But hey, thanks for that question. Anybody else have any questions out there? Just feel free to ask, and we'll do our best to try to answer them. One of the trades that, of course, caught my eye was, of course, well, because it's Cowboys. Jonathan Hankins. We do need another defenseman because one of our defenders, Jordan Lewis, suffered a season-ending injury. So yeah, I guess we did need a little bit of more help on the defensive line. So yeah, and Natalie, any names stick out to you or?
Yeah, pretty much the ones that both you said. But and as a Giants fan, also I do like the Tony to the Chiefs trade. It's better so Giants can build up more depth. That's what they need. Hopefully, they'll use their draft picks to get a wide receiver.
Yeah,
I guess I can't pick on Tony anymore for having less touchdowns than Andrew Thomas, but I can still pick on Galladay.
Yeah, and Joe Shane said in his press conference today that it was best, and not to
Mm-hmm.
I think he gets frozen up again.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he was injured a lot, so they really had no use for him.
yeah. When I think it was last year in one of the Cowboys games, one of the Cowboys Giants games, Kadarius Toney, he was looking pretty good. I kind of thought that he'd be a future star there with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
But traded over to the Chiefs now, so we'll just be. Guess it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So yeah. Let me set.
And Wandale Robinson, he seems to be similar to him in a way.
Right. All right. Well. All right. He is back now. So. All right. We'll go ahead and. Oh yeah. Let's take a look here. Our picks for last week and our season totals right now. And there they are. Last week, straight up, we all went 9-6. Each one of us went 9-6 straight up. Against the spread, though, Flynn and I went 7-8, while Natalie went 8-7.
Finally.
Which means right now for the straight up picks, Flynn has the advantage. Natalie in second, I'm in last, but right now, 2022 so far against the spread, I have the advantage over Flynn. Natalie kind of bringing up the rear a little bit, but there's been some interesting games going on. There's been some shockers. There's been some upsets that I can't even believe, So basically, that's how our numbers stack up right there as far as our picks and our spreads. So I guess the only thing to do right now is go ahead and get to this week's NFL matchups, and let's go ahead and get that screen up here. Get that up there for all y'all watching here on Facebook and on Twitter. And you'll notice, everyone knows down at the bottom right there, we have 6 teams on the bye this week. And that would be the New York Giants, my Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns. So again, on the bye week this week, Giants, Cowboys, 49ers, Broncos, Steelers, and Browns. So be sure that if you have any of those players that play for any of those teams, make sure you bench them or you drop them because they're going to be of no use to you this week. But you can try to bring as much of them back as you can next week. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this week's action. Beginning, of course, on Thursday night. Thursday night football on Prime Video. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are heading into Houston to take on the Texans. And this is a pretty steep spread here. The Eagles are picked by 14 and a half. And so, Flynn, as we start with these pick'ems here, I think I see a slaughter in the making.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any indication of what's going on at Citizens Bank Park right now, you'd bet it'll translate over into this game. Look, so Philadelphia has creamed its opposition, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. And I made the Eagles my lock of the week last week, and I was pretty dang close to the actual score. But I think this is gonna be a game where the Eagles are going to dominate early and then allow the Texans to get some garbage time points. So I'll take the Eagles to win 38-28, but I say a backdoor cover with the Texans.
Ooh. Interesting. He's saying that the Texans will cover, but the Eagles will get the victory. Natalie, what do you say on this one?
Yeah, this game is basically a mess for Houston. Right now, their only bright side is probably Damian Pierce, if that. But then they have nobody. They have no defense. Eagles are here. I don't think AJ Brown's going to replicate the same performance as last time, but it's still going to be pretty much a bloodbath for Houston. I'm just going to do it right off the bat. I'm going to make this my lock of the week. 38-17 Eagles. I'm going to get it right out of the way.
38-17 Eagles. Let's go ahead and lock that one up for Mr. Natali.
Get it out of the way.
Lock up them Eagles. Well, I'm trying to get to my Yahoo Eliminator challenge because I was eliminated when the Buccaneers lost to the Panthers, and that was so pathetic right there. Actually, no, something. I'm not actually going to make this my lock of the week. Wait a minute, can I? Okay, I like the. Well, yeah, I haven't picked them yet. I guess this is obvious. This is obvious. No question about it. They're going to get blown away. I'm going to have the Eagles as my lock of the week, so I'm going to lock them up too. And let's see. I'm going to say 51-10. It's going to be a total blowout. I mean, this is 51-10. This is my lock of the week, as I'm sure it'll probably be a lock for many of y'all out there. If y'all are playing along with us, y'all make sure to put your picks in the comment section below. See if you can pick them better than we can. Now we go to Sunday's game, and we have a matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers against the Atlanta Falcons. And Flynn, the Chargers come into Atlanta as 3-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, this to me was the single toughest game of the week to pick. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers to win and cover, coming off a bye. But I think we should give the Falcons a lot of credit for how they were able to turn this around. Arthur Smith is a one man party, as they say, Artie the one man party. Down in Atlanta, that he's doing an excellent job with the roster that he's had and why they're in first place. But I mean, Justin Herbert against that defense, which almost blew the game for which should have blown the game last week for the Falcons with the way they let DJ Moore loose on that touchdown. I think this is a game where Justin Herbert creams up this Falcons defense, and I'll take the Chargers to win this game 35-27 over the Atlanta Falcons.
All right, Natalie, what do you say?
Yeah, this one is kind of a tough one. I think this can go either way. I'm pretty sure. I think Keenan Allen still might be out for the Chargers, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure if he played last week or not. I can't recall. But despite him not being present as much, they're still doing fine. Is Kyle Pitts back? That remains to be seen. It's going to come down to the team with the better defense. I'm going to go with the Chargers and probably about your typical average scoring affair, 24-20.
All righty then. I will make it unanimous here. Falcons are doing okay, but I think they still have room for improvement. I think the Chargers are going to be okay coming off their bye week, get some practice in there. So I am taking the Chargers to win and cover. Give me the Chargers 31-24. Next, we're going to go to Chicago, where the Bears are going to be welcoming the Tua gang. The Miami Dolphins are coming into Chicago, and the Dolphins are 5-point favorites. Flynn, what do you see here?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears with the points. I'll take the Dolphins to win the game. Look, this has the makings of a classic trap game for Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, and this is one of those that they need to learn to win. Now, I thought they did a good job adjusting after they went down 14-0 to the Lions, and then they came back and won that game. But I mean, I think the way the Bears were able to battle against Dallas last week, in spite of everything going on with the Robert Quinn trade and all that, I think that's gonna be an inspiration, and also the addition of Chase Claypool is gonna help. Gonna help Justin Fields with this passing. So I think the Bears are gonna put up some points, but I think the Dolphins win on a field goal, 28-25.
All right, Natalie, what do you say?
Yeah, this one I think is almost a pick 'em. Basically, the Bears getting rid of Roquan Smith, that was the last straw for any remote hope of their defense. So you don't have a defense, it's going to be pretty hard to win games. I think the Dolphins are definitely going to win this game outright. The Bears are definitely not going to cover the points at all. Dolphins are going to win by more than that. So give me them to win 27-20.
Interesting. I'm going to take the Dolphins myself. The Bears are they're starting to look. I mean, they're looking okay. They upset the Patriots. Was it a couple of Monday nights ago? And of course, they made the Cowboys work for their victory this past week. They're scoring the points, but the return of Tua is just done pretty good for those Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins. Give me the Tua boys. Dolphins 31, Bears 28. That's how I see it.
All right, so Tim and I both have taking the points with Chicago.
Before we get to our next game, we have another viewer question here. Matt Solis. Hey guys, I'm 2-6 and need a running back. Someone offered me Jonathan Taylor and T. Higgins for Cooper Kupp. Do I accept?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. The Colts just fired their offensive coordinator, Marcus Taylor, who seemingly refused to hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Now that there's going to be someone else doing the plays, it's going to be it's going to be someone else. That means Jonathan Taylor, I think, is going to have a big bounce back. So yes.
Jonathan Taylor and T. Higgins for Cooper Kupp. Well, there you got an opinion from Mr. Flynn here. He knows what he's talking about. That's why you should listen to Hooked on Sports. You know we got those links there in the description area. Just click on one of those links. So, with that being said, we move on to Cincinnati, where the Bengals are 7.5-point favorites against the visiting Carolina Panthers. Flynn.
Yeah, we learned a lot about Cincinnati, and that is that they need Jamar Chase on the field in the worst possible way. So so I think I'll take the Bengals to win the game because they have the quarterback advantage. No question about that. So, this is about who's gonna cover the spread here. So definitely um but I think this is going to be a game where um it might be another day where Jamar Chase sits. So I'll take the Bengals to win, but it's going to be a close one, 20-16.
Interesting here, Natalie.
The Bengals they're looking to bounce back from a disastrous loss to Cleveland. That was ridiculous. But yeah, having a Jamar Chase out for 4 to 6 weeks, that's going to be a problem. It remains to be seen how well Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins will step up. I think they're going to do pretty well. It'll be a low-scoring affair. DJ Moore's bouncing back too, but in the end, it's going to come down to who has the ball last. And I think the Bengals are going to squeak by. However, Panthers will cover the points, but Bengals will still win 21-17.
Very nice. And I too will take the Bengals, and I too will take the Panthers with the points. I believe the Panthers may make it kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that new offense looks without Ron CMC now that he has gone over to the West Coast. I believe Carolina will cover, but I got Cincinnati in the end to bounce back. Give me the Bengals at home, 28-24. Now we go to an NFC North division matchup. It's the Green Bay Packers in Detroit against the Lions. The Packers are 3.5-point favorites. That looks a little deceptive to me. But
Awesome.
Green Bay usually has done very well in Detroit. So Flynn, what you got here?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why the Packers are only 3.5-point favorites is because I've been watching the Packers for the last 4 weeks. That they look terrible offensively. Now, so I do appreciate some of the things that Romeo Dobbs has done. Is particularly that incredible touchdown catch. But I thought there were some things in the Buffalo game in the second half that I think the Packers could build on before to start winning again. I think that you look at improved defense, defensive effort in the second half, and I think that's going to translate over into this game. Now, I was going to pick the Lions to win before Hawkinson got traded, but now he's gone. It's one less weapon for Jared Goff. So I'll take the Packers to win this game, 24-20 over the Lions.
Okay. I think it was 24-20 what I heard from Flynn going with the Packers. Natalia, what do you say?
Yeah, this one was really hard for me because both teams are having problems from all aspects of the field. Yeah, Rodgers is having probably the worst season of his career, and Lions have been bad for decades. Yeah, this one was kind of a coin flip for me.
Wow.
The Hawkins trade really had no bearing on my selection, but I do see the matchups. I see a split series here, and I'm just gonna win it. I'm gonna give the advantage to the home team. I'm gonna take the Lions 21-18.
All right. And you know what? Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is just falling apart. And this is just the right time for the high-scoring Lions team. I mean, they were the highest-scoring offense despite their record. They made the Cowboys work for their victory. And I think this will probably be the last straw for that bad man. And for that reason, that's right, baby. Give me the Lions to upset the Packers at home. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna give the Lions let's call it 27-21. Give me
Wow.
actually no, we're gonna make it closer. And Packers are gonna make it interesting, but in the end, it's gonna be the Lions by a field goal. So give me the Lions in my
Okay.
upset 27-24. That's going to be terrible. I mean, Rodgers is going down. He's going down hard.
Yeah.
This was most likely his last season in the NFL. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did the same as me, a
yep,
3-point differential. So Flynn's the lone wolf on this one.
yep. Okay, now we go to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are going to be home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders come in at 2.5 point favorites. So, Flynn, what do you see here? Can you hear us, Flynn? I think he's probably working on his microphone or something. Yeah, you and Natalie give your picks first. Okay, all right. He'll defer to Natalie right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, this one was also kind of a tough one. The Jaguars they start off pretty good, but then they just fell apart. The Raiders are dealing with a Darren Waller injury. Devontae Adams is coming off of his worst game, I believe. Last matchup, I think he had just one catch for I think 3 yards. Yeah, the Raiders they got shut out, not a single point, which was surprising to me. I do think they're gonna bounce back here. It's all gonna come down to which team is slightly better right now, and that's the Raiders. I think 2 points is way too generous. I see them winning more than that. Not that much more, but just barely. So I'm gonna take the Raiders 28-25.
Raiders 28-25. Oh, Flynn's back now.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Now I can do that. All right. So I don't do I want to watch this game because it's the pathetic Las Vegas Raiders taking on the pathetic Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, the two teams that I want to see the hell off my TV. Two teams that have no idea what they're doing. Two teams that are not well coached. Two teams that seem incapable of facing adversity. And frankly, I'll take the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars have the advantage when it comes to the defense, and I think that's what's going to make the difference at the end of the day. I'll take the Jaguars to win 27-24.
All right. I'll take the Jaguars to win. Yeah, looks like I'm going to have to break this tie here, and I'm pretty much going to take the Jaguars to win, even though Raiders might make it close, but I'm going to say it's a low-scoring game. Give me the Jaguars at home over the Raiders by a score of 20-16.
Looks like I'm the only one who went with the outright.
Yeah, I think you're right. This will be a game that I'd rather take a nap through than actually watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Next game. Now, in years past, this was one of the best rivalries in the AFC. But of course, Peyton Manning is retired. Tom Brady's is in Tampa Bay. He should have retired at the end of last year, just stayed retired. But it is the Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots over at the Big Razor Blade. And Patriots are 5.5 point favorites. Seems like a mismatch, but it seems like everything that was going good for Indianapolis has just been going bad. I guess same thing for New England. So, Flynn, what gives?
Yeah, I had a different outlook on this game as recently as 12 hours ago, before the Colts fired their offensive coordinator. Now that they fired the offensive coordinator, as I said before, I think Jonathan Taylor is now finally going to give owners who picked them the first overall, number one overall pick value. for the foreseeable future with a new voice. So I think that's going to be the difference in terms of covering the spread. But you got it's Sam Ellinger starting this game, and give the Patriots credit for how they play against the Jets, but I think they'll barely hang on and beat the Colts 23-21.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one was a tough one for me. I mean, this can go either way. I definitely see Taylor had a bounce back day. I mean, while the punch that the Colts are going to win this one, I think it's going to be a low scoring affair, but I'll take them 28-24.
So you got the Colts in an upset special?
Yes, I do. Yep, I'll take it. We'll take the upset. I'll do that.
We'll take the upset special. Hey, we'll give it to you, buddy. We'll give it to you.
Sure. Why not? Let's do it.
Okay, and well, how do I follow that up? Well, taking the Colts in upset special. Well, I've already given my upset special, but I think I got another upset here. Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully, he can bounce back and break out, and I believe he will. I'm going to take the Colts here. Let's see here. I'd say maybe 2 rushing touchdowns for Taylor, maybe a passing touchdown for my man Sam Ellinger from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be 21, maybe 2 field goals. Give me, and I say we'll get 23. Yeah. That sounds like a reasonable enough score. Colts upset the Patriots 27-23 by my count.
All right.
Now we have a battle of the Empire State here. Very interesting matchup. The Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets. Bills come in at 13-point favorites, but is that actually a reflection of what happened to the Jets last week?
Did you watch the highlights of Zach Wilson play hot potato with the football and now the next thing on his list is the Bills? Do you know what that how disastrous that's going to be?
I hate to even think of it.
Yeah, it's going to be disastrous. 41-14 Buffalo over New York, and that, Tim McClellan, is my lock of the week.
Okay, so Mr. Flynn is locking up them Bills. There you go. Flynn locks up the Bills 41-14. Mr. Natali, what do you say?
Gee, that is a huge one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ever since the Jets lost Breece Hall, they haven't been the same, and it seems like their defense is getting weaker now. The Bills clearly have the better weapons. I mean, I definitely think the Bills are going to win this game, but somehow I have a feeling the Jets are going to cover the points. But give me the Bills 31, Jets 20.
Interesting. And I kind of got a feeling here it's going to be kind of a blowout. Yeah, Buffalo is just going to be too much for those Jets. I think Buffalo is going to kind of bring those Jets back down to earth a little bit since they've had a little bit of a success. Now it's time to bring them. Now some people will say it's time to bring the Jets back to normal reality, what they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to happen here. Give me the Buffalo Bills to give an easy victory over the Jets by a score 41-21.
And why is that, Tim?
Because, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I have to salute Chris Berman. I love Chris Berman, the godfather of ESPN, the Don Corleone of the worldwide leader. If he makes you an offer, you better not refuse it. Interesting. I don't know about interesting, but Minnesota Vikings, of course, were involved in a trade earlier this week. The Vikings are headed to the nation's capital to take on the Commanders, and the Vikings come in at 3.5 point favorites. So, Flynn, what's this here?
Okay, so this was the second toughest game of the week for me to pick in terms of the spread. So I comfortably had Washington covering with the 3.5 points, and this is I think this is the type of game where where the game is gonna come down to the last few seconds with the field goal. I think it's gonna be a competitive game. Look, well, give Washington some credit for how they played, especially defensively over the last couple of weeks. They really turned the corner, I think. And now it's going to be interesting to see now that Will Jackson III is no longer in the building, and we'll also see if when Washington gets Chase Young back, because he's been on IR since the start of the season. So is it possible that he returns this weekend? That remains to be seen. But I think the Vikings fall into a bit of a trap, but then they win the game on winning field goal as time expires. So give me Minnesota to win 22-20.
22-20. Whoa, very close right there. Natalie, how do you call this?
Yeah, I guess maybe prior to them acquiring Hawkinson, I thought it was going to be a little bit more close. But now that he's there, he's going to be the spark, and it's going to be a little more spread out. So I'm not sure if the spreads were sent prior to the deadline or after, but either way, it has no bearing on my selection.
This was after. I made sure the deadline passed before there were changes to the lines.
Okay, yeah, I figured that. But now that Hawkinson's there as an extra spark, but Washington's no longer going to cover the spread. So I'm going to take the Vikings to win this one 30-22. It'll still be a one-score game, though.
Okay. I'm going to say no. I actually think Minnesota will cover the spread just a little bit, but I got Minnesota winning this one by a late field goal. I see a couple of connections with Cousins and Jefferson, or either Cousins and Thielen, but that's two great tandems nonetheless. Late field goal is going to give it to the Vikings in the nation's capital, so give me the Vikings over the Commanders 27-24.
Yeah, the reason why I did not lay the points is because Minnesota's defense is shaky. So that's why I didn't switch over after the Hawkinson trade.
Now we're going into the late games right now. First, we're going to start in Arizona, where the Cardinals are going to be welcoming in the Seattle Seahawks, and the Cardinals are just 2-point favorites here. So, Flynn, looks like we got two kind of shaky teams in here. So, who are you thinking shake off the cobwebs a little better?
Yeah, I think Vegas is obsessed with name obsession over the last couple of weeks. I mean, so the Patriots were only 1.5-point favorites against the Jets, but because of name recognition, because of Belichick and coming just despite them being on the road and 2 games behind the Jets. Now we have a similar situation here. The Cardinals are a couple of games behind Seattle in the division. And now Seattle and now it's the second meeting of the season. Seattle's already won once, and I think they're going to win this game, win again here. So I think Geno Smith is going to carve up this Arizona defense that has been not good. So I'll take the Vikings, the Seattle to win here by a score of 31-28.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one was a pretty tough one. I got to give Geno Smith a lot of credit. He's having a solid. Yeah, Murray's getting it together now. I think it's all going to come down to who has pretty much the ball last. And Man, my score is very similar to Flynn's, except I have the Cardinals taking it at home. I really don't think they're going to lose twice. So give me
Mhm.
Arizona 30-28.
Wow. Very interesting. So once again, I got a big tiebreaker, and
I'm gonna say 2 points.
well, I going to give the edge to Seattle here. Haven't really examined this game yet, but Geno Smith is he's doing great, enjoying a second life in the NFL. This time he's in Seattle, and I think they're going to put a dime on those Cardinals. So give me the Seahawks by a score of 30-20. So that's how I said here. Um,
So
we
what?
have
So what do you have putting 30-20?
30-20 Seattle.
All right, gotcha.
And now we go to Tampa Bay where we got the Rams against the Bucks, and the Brady crew is 2.5 point favorites over the Rams. But with everything that has been going wrong with the Bucks, this seems a little bit deceptive. Flynn, help me out here.
The only reason the Bucks are 2.5 point favorites is according to the spreads because Tom Brady is the quarterback of the Buccaneers. So again, name recognition. They want people betting the Bucks because they think they're going to fall into Brady. But here's the problem with this game. The Rams' offense is broken. They can't run the football. They can't block. And they can't throw the ball effectively to anybody other than Cooper Cup. Other than that, the offense is pretty good. Buck 16, Rams 10.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one was kind of an interesting one, but yeah, somehow I don't know why, but I see this game going in a completely different direction. And but both offenses, I think, are fairly equal. Both defenses have been playing fairly well. Yeah, you're looking. It's basically coming Cup Cup versus Godwin to see who gets that game-winning touchdown. That game. I think this is the game where it's going to be the highest combined point total. And in a slugfest, I have the
Ooh.
Rams upsetting them here, 34-30.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Bold move there. Well, I've always said I'll never bet against Brady, but here in the last few weeks, I think it's just been a shaky defense and a shaky offense. Tom Brady seems like he's the only good factor in that Buck offense, but I say Tom Brady will get it together and it will be a finish pretty close here. Give me the Buccaneers to take down the Rams. Not by much, but give them a score of 21-17 Bucks over Rams. And then we have the Sunday night game on NBC. Check your local listings. It's a very interesting AFC matchup. The Tennessee Titans against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Wow, Chiefs are 12.5 point favorites. Flynn.
Yeah, I love Tennessee plus 12.5 here. Now, I don't think Tennessee is going to win because of Andy Reid's record coming off a bye week. But Tennessee's defense has been playing some excellent football over the last several weeks, and that's been the reason why they've won 5 in a row after starting the season 0-2. And you're gonna see a team start that start of the season 0-2 make the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, and that's Mike Vrabel and the Titans. So give a lot of credit to that, but they're just running into a jigsaw known as Mahomes and the Chiefs. The defense is going to keep this close, but in the end, I'll take the Chiefs to win 27-23 over the Tennessee Titans.
All right, Flynn, what do you see here?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a fairly close one. I think that 12.5, I think, is a little aggressive. I mean, although the Titans they don't have too much work to work with on the receiving end. However, Henry has been very solid. He's coming off of I think of a 100 scrimmage, I
Are we losing
believe
Tally?
last time. I think he's going to do the points, but
I think the tally was kind of breaking up on us. Can you repeat your pick, sir? Or I think he's got it in the chats right here. Let me see here. Why is this not cooperating with me? Oh, that's it. Let me see it. Okay, we got the pick from Tally, and he says it'll be KC over Tennessee, 30-20.
Uh-huh.
Very,
So
very, very interesting. I will take Kansas City as well. Tennessee is going to make it very, very interesting. They're going to make the Chiefs work for it, but I think the Chiefs will have just enough mojo on their offense to do this. Give me the Chiefs over the Titans by a score of 35-30, although I do see a pretty good game for Derrick Henry, but it was just depends on how that Chiefs defense is. But give me the Chiefs 35-30. Very good game. It'll be a nice Sunday night game. But then we go into this Monday night matchup, which seems, I guess the only thing I can say is blah. BLAH, blah. It's the Baltimore. Yeah. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football, ESPN. Ravens come in at 3-point favorites. That doesn't seem quite enough, in my opinion. What you got, Flynn?
yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, this was a Saints team that can get physical, as they saw it when they destroyed the finesse Raiders on Sunday, where they outgained them 2-1 in terms of total yards gained. So, but I just mean I think the Ravens are a completely different animal than the Raiders. I mean, the Ravens are a completely a higher league compared to the Raiders. I mean, I destroyed the Raiders for that, but give the Saints defense credit. They played by far their best defensive effort since when they shut out Brady and the Bucks last year at Ray J. So. I have the Ravens to win and cover. They'll win this game 30-24.
All right, Tally, what do you see here?
yeah, I completely agree with both of you. The 3 is ridiculous. So, Ravens are the complete package right now. They have the better offense, and they definitely have the better defense, especially now with Roquan Smith set to play his first game there. So the defense is only going to get stronger. So it's definitely going to be a 2-score affair here, 33-23.
Uh-huh. And I am going to go with the visiting Ravens here. Saints are just a pile of crap, in my opinion. They're just not firing all cylinders, and I'm going to take the Ravens to win this one by a score of 33-21.
And also one other thing, it's Andy Dolan in prime time. What else could go wrong?
Right. Oh, we do have this question here. Patrick should I trade Mark Andrews, Dameon Pierce, and Chris Godwin for Amon-Ra and Josh Jacobs?
That's
a tough one.
I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to get a heck of a lot more targets
Mark
with Detroit now that T.J. Hawkinson's gone. So, go for it.
So, I guess it maybe is a good trade, I guess. I mean, Josh Jacobs has been doing very well for the Raiders in the last couple of years.
Yeah, remember when Josh McDaniels tried to play Josh Jacobs in the Hall of Fame game earlier this year? I mean,
Right.
he thought Josh Jacobs was completely irrelevant. Now look what he's doing. Josh Jacobs is the reason the Raiders are not 0-8 to start the season. Seriously.
Right. And that Amon Ra, he is a nice up and coming player. So I guess according to these guys here, you could go ahead and pull off that trade. Let us know what happens.
Yeah, and speaking of the Raiders never get enough credit for how dysfunctional they are. Seriously.
Yeah, they seem messed up, but even though I still don't like the Josh McDaniel pick for head coach, they seem to be doing okay here and there. So
I mean, doing okay. Did you see that complete no show against New Orleans? I mean, the Raiders are one of the 10 worst teams in football this year. So you clearly haven't been paying attention.
obviously I haven't. Of course, I did see that score from their game against New Orleans, and yeah, there was just nothing there for the Raiders this time. But we'll just have to see what happens. But thanks for your question right there, brother. And I guess that wraps it up for another week of Fantasy Football Fever. Don't forget, folks. Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, 49ers. Those teams are on the bye.
A lot of high profile franchises are off this week.
Yes, a lot of good ones.
With big fan bases. So the Giants, the Cowboys, the Steelers, the 49ers teams.
Yeah, so better take a visit to the waiver wire too.
Yeah,
I mean, you definitely might want to do that.
Yeah, and among the 6 teams that are on bye, they've combined for 23 Super Bowl wins among those 6 teams.
Yep. Wow. So yeah, just make sure you bench or drop any of those players that play for those teams. They won't do you any good this week, but they'll do you good next week.
Saquon Barkley, such as Christian McCaffrey or Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, my preseason sleeper. I'm not surprised about that.
Oh, we could go on all night with all these great names that we got taking the bye this week. So y'all make sure y'all do what y'all need to do, and hopefully y'all will be back with us next week. We will be past the halfway point of the NFL season, believe it or not. We'll be halfway through the season, and this season has just gone by so quickly. Oh, by the way, to answer that question earlier, the reason I'm wearing this is because Cowboys is on the bye, and because this is number 15. Patrick Mahomes, native East Texan, grew up just about maybe an hour or so drive away from where I live. Went to White House High School. Of course, played college at Texas Tech. Drafted by the Chiefs, and the rest is history. So. We will be back same time, same place next week. Until then, y'all be sure to listen to John Flynn with Hooked on Sports. Got the major links down in the description area, so go ahead and click on one of those links and make your picks. See if you can pick the games better than we can. So my thanks once again to Mr. John Flynn and John Natale. Guys, it was a good show.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely. Yep.
And hopefully we'll have another great show. So until then, for Mr. Natale and Mr. Flynn, my name is Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Y'all take care. Have a great week. Good night. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.